Hey everybody, it's Beowulf here. I'm not usually here on the YouTube, but I'm trying to get some answers. So I must thought just asking some questions anyway. My name's Beowulf, and I have some questions on this coronavirus because it doesn't seem that we're getting any answers to this, and this is what concerns me the most. So maybe I'll open these questions. Maybe it'll start us thinking outside the box on what's actually really going on or whatever. That's my Chevy hat. Yeah, oil change or two on there. Anyway, here's what I don't understand is that last week we had in our stock market, I keep track of the markets pretty much, and that stock market, we had unemployment claims out the ass. I mean, we've got unemployment claims that are coming in from Texas. They can't even keep up. They they're actually calling in other departments just to receive your unemployment claims. We have individuals who can't pay their rent. We have individuals who can't make their mortgage payments. We have individuals who are out of school. People are out of work. And this drastically attacks our economy. You can't tell me that all these things are happening and it doesn't affect our economy. But yet, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of last week, our stock market partied like it's 1999. So my question here is the fact is that what do they know we don't know? Or is it possible, but that maybe the stock market is so out of touch with Main Street regular people like you and me that they don't really give a shit anymore and they have lost total contact. They have no idea what's going on. And if they do, could we look at it like, well, how much fraud is actually in our stock market because it's obviously overpriced. You can't tell me that the airlines have not been hurt. People locked in their house, they can't go nowhere. You can't go places. It's affecting the economy. I don't know about you, it's the stock market, but it's affecting us now, and we need the relief now, and we're not getting it. We come up with these stimulus checks. I hear this all the time. People are waiting for their $1,200 to come in, $1,200 to come in the bank or whatever. I'm gonna tell you this right now: $1,200, man, don't even get me through half the month. But we're supposed to accept it and say, be grateful. Thank you for helping us out there in this troubled time. Where were you 3, 4 years ago whenever people were hurting then? But it brings the train of thought goes to the fact is that, and keeps going back to this, is that we are now slowly digressing into a subservient society. We rely now on our government to help us out of a bind. Used to back in the old days, I had a problem making my rent. I had a problem something or whatever. I go ask my buddy, say, can I borrow a couple $100 till payday? I'll get you back on payday, whatever. Yeah. Now we're relying on the government, and this kind of transaction actually strengthen a relationship that actually you help people out. You're actually helping somebody that you knew out. And now we rely on the government to come bail us out. Of all the shitty decisions we made, I mean, we made some shitty decisions. We lived off credit for I don't know how long. I don't know how many people got a good credit card balance, but you know what? At some point in time, you had to think when you're swapping that card or putting it in the chip, I got to pay for this shit sometime. And you agree the terms I'm going to pay for it over time. So who really created the problem? We cannot assume that we're going to have any kind of utopian society. It's not going to happen. Men were given free will for a reason. This one I said, okay, you can do this, but if you do this, here's the consequences. And this is what we're experiencing right now. We cannot control the amount of debt that we have now. The Fed Reserve has actually dropped the interest rates down to zero, and we still can't afford to make our payments. And without a job, you damn sure going to be hurting. Now, these stimulus checks are supposed to go out and help everybody. Everybody get back on their feet or whatever. Cool. But now you're offering it to illegal aliens who don't have a right to be here. You want to include them on the piece of the pie? How about individuals who are actually having their wages garnished for some reason by the government? Student loans, for example. A lot of individuals who have the student loans that couldn't make the payments, now they get their money comes off the top, whatever. People that actually have been reported to be behind on child support, you're not getting your money. Students who need it probably most than anybody, they're not getting your money. People who have graduated and actually right now probably being nurses and doctors in these hospitals that are taking care of people, they ain't gonna get their money because they got a student loan they got to pay. And they want to come out and say, well, you got to pay for rent. Bullshit. I'm coming after I got to pay my student loan payments or my child support payments, because if not, you're going to garnish all my damn wages. I ain't got shit. And Mr. Trump says, well, they should have known that when they got behind. Okay. Doesn't solve any problems for me. Now, we have actually noticed that we have a fear tactic going on. We are a victim of this. We don't get correct information. We don't get information from our government. We don't know what the real deal is. We don't really know what the hell is going on, but we have to tune in every day to the president for us to tell what's going on. I don't know, but you know what? I can look out my damn window and I can see my neighbors down there, and it hurt. If I go down to my Brookshire brothers down there, and there ain't but 3 or 4 cars in the parking lot, they hurt. Not to mention the small businesses around here that we haven't even thought about the economic damage. Yeah, we'll defer your student loan payments for 3-4 months. We're gonna have to pay it back. What's the interest? And we'll defer your mortgage payment for 2-3 months. But guess what? After that 3rd month, guess what? It's all due and payable right then. Forgot to read that fine print down there at the bottom of that page, didn't you? So we're just prolonging the inevitable. We want to get through this election season like that our president did everything possible, but guess what? 3 or 4 months into it, he's like, he didn't do me a damn thing. Get me worse off than what I am right now. So this brings a lot of questions, because the fact is that everybody is looking for information, and we're looking for information on mainstream media or whatever. Give me something that I can actually I can hang my hat on, so I can actually make an educated decision, and they can't do it. This is the first item that you would actually have to conquer in a subservient society, because the fact is you take knowledge away from the people and you take their power. Right now we're walking around saying, well, okay, they said do this. Okay, they said do this. They said do this. Oh my God, I got a big topic. Meanwhile, we're negating the fact is, you know what's actually causing the virus. You cannot tell me that we're stupid if we did not predict something like this was going to happen. Mother Nature don't play. We've had test runs. We've had Ebola, H1N1. We had the swine flu. We've had all the past disasters. We actually have all this data that we can actually put in front of us. This is what's going to happen, but we're not prepared for it. I refuse to accept the fact that, we're the richest country in the United States. The richest country is the United States of America, and we can't even afford to get ventilators to people who need them. But we got money for the Space Force. We got money for the arts, and we just gave our Congress a damn big ass raise, but we can't put in ventilators to the people who actually need them. Especially as you're talking about a nursing home, okay? You don't have ventilators in a nursing home. You can't care for the individuals there in case there's a medical procedure needs to be happening or whatever. You have to send you to the hospital. We can't care for you here. Maybe they should have thought about that. Whenever you're in a hospital or you're in a nursing home, guess what? We got to take care of these people when they get old. And if they have a heart attack suddenly, then guess what? We need to be able to prepare some kind of CPR on these individuals, get them from here, point A to point B, get them to the hospital. But no, we didn't think about that. This is what you get with a lackadaisical society. So it'll never happen here. These things we don't need to prepare for, because the likelihood of that happening is 1 in a million. Bullshit. Correct your math on that. How many viruses have we had going around that, just by that hair of the head, oh, we caught it. The Ebola virus is one of them. Oh, yeah, well, we caught it. It's still going on. things will not actually start to get back to normal until we find a vaccine. That's it. After all of this been created in the media and in our government and all news cycles, all the information that's coming out, it's got us into a corner where we can't rest until we get a freaking vaccine. We're not going to let Mother Nature take its course. Every once in a while, Mother Nature puts these events down there and say, you know what, hell, maybe y'all should have prepared for this shit. But we as individuals, as human beings, we actually tend to forget about that last time. Matter of fact, people that were in Katrina right now in New Orleans, they're getting slammed again with this coronavirus. Now, I don't know. I see the numbers going up. I see the numbers rising. I see it going up. And there's a lot of individuals say, well, no, it's all man-made, all this kind. I don't, at this point in time, I don't care. We'll get to that shit later. My mission right now is, okay, to find out what the hell's going on so I can defend myself against it. Anything that's threatening my way of life, I need to find out how I can defend myself against it, because when they come knocking on doors and guess what, just me and 7 or 8 other officers, guess what? It's too late then. I'm not going to actually sit there and tell you this time the panic is going to try. No, I'm not. The media already does that for you. Please tell me how it makes sense whenever they have a social distancing order and you go down and you look at the Walmart and you look at all these, and there's lines outside. And people are saying, well, we're keeping my social distancing. They're all huddled up amongst each other. Like, that's just stupid. Regardless if you really believe this is a real disease or whatever. You know, dude, if someone's getting sick, we even do it now. Dude, don't cough on me, man. You know, don't cough. Keep bringing that shit over there. Teach our kids to sneeze too. Remember, we sneeze like this, and I get up. Now we sneeze like this. We learn. But this is just more and more looking like this is just another part of a grander scheme that they are actually trying to gain control over the people. The people who are they worried about, they're the people who ask why. How come? Show me. The people who actually question their motives and question their mentality and say, you know, what the hell are you going? What? I don't give a damn. I don't care about the price. I don't care about the price of rice in China. I'm talking about right here. We have farmers out here that are dumping their milk. We have farmers who are getting subsidized by the government to plant certain crops. So in other words, you got a cornfield. The government says, well, we'll give you a subsidy. We'll give you a check if you plant it all in beans next year, but we don't want no corn this year. We'll pay you to grow your peas. I don't blame farmers. Hell, you got to go where the money's at. But this gives you an idea of how we're working toward a global type of community. People have been saying it, that we're actually working for the global markets. We're actually going to be a one world government, whatever. This is case positive that we are. 2 prime examples. The World Health Organization, that we're contributing. I don't know how many millions of trillions of dollars we're sending into people, but guess what? They failed to actually issue some kind of warning when it was actually in China. They didn't wait. They didn't even call a pandemic until hell, half Italy was almost dead. And now they're working they're diligently with the Chinese to make sure that it's not the brunt of the blame is not on the Chinese, because it'll affect them economically later. Whenever all this goes up in smoke and everything's back to normal, we're going to go over to the Chinese. We dropped the ball. Okay, I mean, there's no other way of saying this. We dropped the ball. We were too ignorant. They told me never to use that word, but we were too ignorant to realize that this has happened to us, because we thought, oh, well, shit, that ain't never going to happen. I'm better than that. We're all better than this. And guess what? You're not. You're a human being, and shit can happen to you. It just happened. This was predicted. People 10, 20 years ago said, we're not ready for the next pandemic. We're not ready. All of these individuals who actually wrote down papers and wrote this is not why. They would actually spell out the reasons why we weren't ready when ignored. There's a bunch of them, some bitches right now sitting around the house. I told you so. I told you so. Now we're finding out that even that we knew this thing was going to happen, how bad it could have been. We didn't lift the finger up to the actually even put a band-aid on it. So what we did was, we denied. Hope it don't happen during my term of office. Hope it doesn't happen here, because God forbid, I got to make a damn decision to protect the American people. If this doesn't explain to you about the aid that actually was voted down by the House for aid to individuals, I'm not saying that I have read but here's the point: is the fact is that they're putting politics over the health of the people instead of deciding, okay, where do we need to focus most of our help and resources on? New York, you think maybe Dallas here, maybe the whole Eastern Seaboard, where they're going down now, getting hit. No, what do? We went in, as the Federal Reserve went in and bought every loan. I'm talking about that they could actually pump it, that they could buy from these unsolvent banks, because the fact is the risk factor is so damn high of foreclosure, and they're going underneath. And the fact is, the government went in and bought these toxic assets. This is what we're spending the money on. People who made bad on their loans, who couldn't keep up with their loans payment. How does it go? How far does it go? Well, because the fact is that there's going to be twice as many people filing for foreclosure or foreclosure papers in the next 30 to 45 days and next 90 days. So who buys those toxic assets? The housing market is going to suffer, because the fact is that, you cannot go borrow money. They don't have any more money in the bank to lend you. They're all spending it on stimulus, and they've all bought all these badass loans. And now, because they've got a badass loan, they're tying up the money, and you can't get a loan to purchase a home. Right now, for our generation, home ownership is just a pipe dream for them. It's a pipe dream. It is something that, when they look back and they look at my life, my daughter told me, she goes, Dad, she goes, it was, I remember when you bought our first house, I remember, this, she said, I remember this or whatever. She goes, Dad, I can't even imagine that I could even think about doing that right now. And she's freaking assistant dean at LMU. So all of this coronavirus tends to believe that we're being lied to, and this shit is getting out of hand now. As of today, we've got individuals here in Texas. We've got people here around the states who are actually calling them bullshit. They're calling bullshit on this. You can't tell me I got to stay in my damn house. You can't tell me I can't go to the park. You can't tell me I can't go to these places, because it's my right. If you decide that you don't want to, if you don't want to be exposed to the coronavirus, stay your ass in the house. But let me go and enjoy my damn life to the best of my abilities right now. What I have open, what I have capable of actually bettering my life or maintaining the status quo of my life as it is right now. In Walmart, they're going up and they're putting up. They're only going to let you go on the grocery aisle. They even let you go over here to get electronics, get anything like that. They're not let you get anything like that, batteries or anything like that. No, you just stick to. This is out of control. Now they're starting to control the population, telling people when you can go to church. You can't go to church. Well, guess what? During these hard times, there's a lot of people need to go. They want to go to church and pray. But in ending this, I will say that the bigger picture is basically coming out to equal the same thing, no matter what formula you use. Our government is taking over our rights and choosing what we can and we can't do on a daily basis. I don't know what that sounds like to you, but it sounds like communism to me. It sounds like a damn place I didn't fight for, and I don't want to be a no part of. And just, I said I'll close anyway. One more point. These laws that they're passing right now for quarantining are the individuals who are actually shutting down businesses, or all these laws they're putting in place. You can't go to this place, you can't go this, whatever. They're going to remain on the books. Remember the Patriot Act? The Patriot Act was put in one place, one reason only, because it was a reaction to 9/11, to where we did not want this to happen again. Many of those laws are still on the books. What? 20-something years later, we still gone back and corrected those. We still live under the umbrella of an act that was passed during wartime, and it's never been rescinded. Now, they're just amplifying onto those current laws that they have, and they're signing in new ones. What do you do, first of all, when you start to destroy a country? Number one, you take away the communications, so people don't know what the hell. We don't even know what's up, what's down, what's sideways. We don't know. Number two, you take away their right to defend themselves, any opportunity they have to defend themselves. Number three, you go in, you make sure you're removing items that they consider dangerous. And if your children are sick, we will take your kids away from you until they get better. When the WHO comes out and says we're going to have to go house to house to pull out sick people, that is scary. This is the WHO, the World Health Organization, the king of the world order, the king of the people who are going to rule all of us. And they're saying, we're going to come in and get your kids, or come get you, because now the virus is slowing down. So now we know we got people inside in the house. They're sick. They're sick. So let's go get them, or whatever. And yes, because of the fear factor and because of the chaos and the act of misinformation, we are forced to comply. We're not given the option. No, you're not coming in here. We don't get that option anymore. No, no, my house is secure, and so is my possessions are insecure within my house. Well, no, it's not. We're gonna come in. We're gonna come in and look at. We're gonna come in and look, make sure. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what people say, the conspiracy theorists and all this, whatever. That's what they've actually been preaching. They didn't actually have all of their ducks in a row, but the fact of the matter is the end result was the same, and the same message was out there, and it still is the day. They're coming to take your rights. That's it. They're coming to take your rights, and you have to comply to receive benefits so you can survive, to get food to eat, so you can actually put food on the table. It's a situation as simple as this. If you were a cop today and you had a choice, do I go inside these people and take their arms, take their kids away, blah blah blah, go, do I go in there and do that just so I can get a paycheck, so I can feed my family? How many would actually be forced to say yes? A lot of people have to be forced to be, or they have to think about it, because the fact is, you know what, your self-preservation, your family comes first, or whatever. So it means me knocking on a few doors. Well, I think something I'll take a look at. I would never do that. It's your business. That's your business. I don't have no right. Nobody has no damn right coming into your house unless they were invited, or you invite them in. Any other reason is bullshit. We learned our lessons from Waco, what the government can do and are willing to do against the American people if you do not comply. I am not saying and taking sides on who's right, who's wrong in that situation, but however, there was a fine line that was actually crossed at that particular time. And the fact is that the government will and can come in and do and pull out the military, the ATF, freaking National Guard, all these some bitches, call and go, come get your shit just because you say no. It's a set of a precedents. It's going to be set as a precedence before long, and it's going to actually happen within the next 6 months, where somebody's going to do something stupid, and all hell's going to break loose. Because the fact is that we're already starting to see in some areas of the country that people are actually rioting when they're told they can't go in and get food for you. Knock that somebody down. I'm hungry. I ain't had a bologna sandwich in a week. God dang. Y'all closed all the damn time. Break you in there and get you some bologna and a damn sandwich, and leave $20 on the damn counter. But when you start taking individual rights away from people, this is the first step. And here I'll hit you with a tagline. How much or how far are we willing to allow them to go? How far are we going to allow them to dictate our way of life and how we live our life and put restraints on what we can and cannot do because of simple coronavirus that you didn't prepare for, that you are now, we are, because of your neglect, your failure to actually get in front of this, to prepare for it. Now, the American people have to pay the price. I wonder every time a death comes up or somebody gets it, I'm like, you know what? Could that individual could have been prevented if we'd have had prior warning? If that individual would have been able to get proper care. I wonder, because the fact is that all signs point to, you know what? We fucked up. We can blame the Chinese like we always do. We can blame the Russians, and we can blame the Cubans, and we can blame whoever the hell we want to, but it comes down to this. We screwed up. We didn't take it serious. We did not prepare. And we did not have any inkling of how bad it was going to be when it hit the United States of America. So I don't like talking about the coronavirus. I believe that the coronavirus is something that was preventable. I believe it was preventable. To the fact is that we should have prepared better for it. It should be on the same terms, or maybe with H1 swine flu, H1, those, where we actually got in front of it and knocked it down. Didn't eradicate it, but knocked it down to where the fact is not everybody was getting sick. But the thing about it is that we didn't even do this, and the American people, we are actually seeing and having to pay with our lives or out of our pocket or something, because we are living in the richest state. We live in the richest country in the world, and we're going to have a higher death rate because of the fact is we didn't think it could happen to us. I have news for Americans. I don't know if you've ever been to Europe. You go to America, we think we're bigger and better than every bear or whatever. When you get over there, get over to another country, whatever, they don't give a shit about you. And guess what? They hate America because of our government. Don't look for help anytime from the countries, because it ain't coming. You guys be good, be careful. Thank you very much. If you like it, I probably gonna start putting out YouTube videos because I'm not getting much love on Facebook, but anyway, I'll put some out. And if you guys like it. Please comment in the section if you like it. Subscribe, because if you like it, then apparently somehow in the algorithms they get seen more or whatever. So love to hear what you guys ever think. What the hell else you got to do, man? You're sitting in a damn house. Push the like button. Play along. You guys be good. Be careful.